Hello guys, and welcome to the next tutorial of ethical hacking and penetration testing via Kali Linux. So in the previous tutorials we have taken a look of almost all of the things which you would need as a beginner, and in this tutorial I'll be teaching you something which is called as a denial of service attack, or when done by multiple people from different networks, it is called as distributed denial of service attack, which is very harmful, and it cannot even be you can say prevented at most of the times. So in this tutorial I will be teaching you denial of service attack, that is DOS, and distributed denial of service attacks. And you don't need to be an expert in anything to go ahead and do a denial of service attack, just a few basic things and you can do that. So to start with, the first thing that I would ask you would be that what is DOS and what is DDoS? What are the effects of DDoS, levels of DDoS, preventing? How can we go ahead and prevent DDoS? But you might be wondering that I just told you that it cannot be prevented. So the thing is that it most likely cannot be prevented, and most of the times if there's an attack going on, then you cannot go ahead and stop it. But even before the attack starts, you can do something at least so that you could go ahead and prevent it from happening in the very beginning. And I'll show you why it is useful and why they are used in multinational companies. So what is DDoS exactly, or what is DOS exactly to start with? So it uses the fact that while a service can be more than sufficient to cater to the demands of the desired users, a drastic increase in unwelcome users can make the service go down. Most of us use the words like this website was down the other day, or without any idea of what it actually means. Well, now we will know today what exactly that means. To give you a good example of what is happening exactly, I'll take you to two different examples. And if you still want to know what exactly or how it works exactly, then you can go ahead and check on this specific the people. They are known as anonymous, so you can go ahead and search about them as to who exactly they are. And okay, so anonymous is a group which most people don't know of exactly who they are, because they mostly consist of random people, and they call themselves as hacktivists, and they normally go ahead and DDoS a lot of networks, and some of them have been caught, but you cannot go ahead and actually catch all of them, because they can be any one of us. It can be you, me, or anyone else. So anyone who wants to be anonymous can just go ahead, wear a mask, and help go ahead and doing an attack or anything. So they have done lots of other things. They have even done some kind of attacks on different countries as well, and still they are unable, people are unable to catch them. Even FBI is behind lots of them, but it's simply not possible to catch all of them. And they were the first to they were not the first to go ahead and do this attack, but it's because of them that this attack became so famous that people came to know about the importance of a distributed denial of service attacks, because they almost do this in any kind of groups. That's why. So if you want further information, then you can go ahead and do that, go ahead and research on them. But today I'll be giving you the basic concept of how exactly this works with two examples. First thing will be a multiplayer online game, and second thing would be a bus stop. So to start with, scenario one would be a multiplayer online game. So now just consider you are playing an online multiplayer game. There are millions of other people who also play this game. Now there's a pool in the game over here that everyone likes to visit. Now you and your friends know that they have the power of numbers. So there are a lot of you, and together you together you decide to make identical characters in the game. That means you make all of them look the similar. Then all of you go and block the access to the pool. You just carried out a denial of service attack. Yes, it's as simple as it is. The users of the game have now been deprived of a service which they had obtained the right to use when they signed up for the game. And this is just what the guys at 4chan, that is the birthplace and residence of Anonymous, they did a long time ago, this kind of games. And this is the basic kind of thing that gives you a very basic idea of what a denial of service attacks can be. So let's go ahead and take a look at scenario 2. Yeah, this is not exactly what I was trying to, but I could not find any other good, let's say, a good image. So I took this image from out of nothing. So let's assume that this is a train stop. So now assume that due to some reason you want to disrupt the train service of your city and stop the people from using the service. To stop the legitimate people from utilizing the service, you can call your friends to unnecessarily use it. Basically, you can invite millions of friends to come and crowd around all the train stops and take the trains without any purpose. practically it is not feasible since you don't have millions of friends, and they're not definitely going to waste their time and money riding aimlessly from one place to another just for the sake that you want to go ahead and block people from using it. But this is how it works in the digital world. So while this may seem impossible in the real world, in the virtual world, you can cause as much load as 1,000 or even 1,000,000 users alone at the click of a button. There are many tools out there for this purpose. However, you're not recommended to use them as a DOS or on someone else, as it is illegal and it is very easy to detect since it also easily shows your IP address from where these packets are coming. So we will come back to this later on and do a DOS on our own computer. But as of now, I'll show you how this works exactly. And just before I go ahead and close this basic tutorial part, I'd like to show you the most famous tool which we use for attacking and hacking, and that is called as LOIC. I'll just take you to the Wikipedia page as well. I'll just open the Wikipedia page, not on an alternate page. Okay, perfect. So as you can see, this LOIC is known as Low Orbit Ion Cannon. It is an open source network stress testing application for DOS attack. It's written in C#, and it was initially developed by these blah 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 and all these things. So it was mostly used by you can say as anonymous for going ahead and doing multiple attacks on people. And it's quite easy. I'll just go ahead and show it out to you. I'll just go ahead and download the binary zip file from over here. You can download these files. It's just like around 4 to 10 MB. I don't know exactly what's total. Okay, so I cannot go ahead and download that, I believe. My system is blocking me from downloading it. Never mind, since we won't be actually doing any kind of DOS attack on anyone else, I will only be using the Kali Linux to going ahead and doing the attack on my own system. I won't be needing that since LOIC is mostly used when you want to go ahead and do a DOS attack on anyone else's website or something. So we won't be doing a DOS attack on a website. We will only be doing that on a computer. So let's go ahead and start. Let me show you how it looks like in exactly our images. So, okay, so this is how the LOIC software looks like. So as soon as you download it from the SourceForge website, just double click it, it will start running, and make sure that your antivirus is disabled because it will most probably detect itself as malware. And you also have a LOIC application for in Google Play Store. Let me check whether they may have deleted that. Let me check. Okay, here it is. Okay, I believe that Google Play Store has removed this from their web page. The reason being that it may be used as for malicious purposes, but you can still find these applications out there. As you can see, we have over here LOIC 5.0, and that is the latest one, I believe. And yes, that's the latest one since I have the same in my cell phone. So you can download it over from here. So when you go and if you go and use your, you must be having a good cell phone, because you cannot do it from a cell phone which has like 512 MB RAM or 256 MB RAM. You need a good cell phone of minimum 1 GB RAM to go ahead and do that, else your own cell phone will be hanged. That's why. So it looks like this. You can go and enter the URL or the IP address of whichever computer or website you want to go ahead and start. Just click lock on, and the target will be selected. And just go ahead and select over here. It will be start flooding. And as soon as you can click start flooding, it will show stop flooding option, and you can go ahead and select the speed as well as to which you want to go ahead and actually attack. And you can go ahead and use the port, which port the person is actually using for its website, and the methods and threads depending upon the speed of your computer and everything. It will go ahead and shut down the computer or the website. So these things were used, and yep. That's it for this tutorial, guys. And in the next tutorial, I'll be teaching you as to why I was going ahead and teaching you all of these things. And there are multiple ways of doing DDoS attack, and you most probably will not be able to save yourself from everything. But I can surely go ahead and teach you as to how we can go ahead and save ourselves from this kind of attack. And in the next tutorial, I'll be describing in detail as to what exactly happens in between the DDoS attack in practical and how it looks like exactly.